Hey, what's going on, guys? Kel Mike with easiestbusiness.com. Today I want to talk to you about something, and forgive me for this format. I usually like to be in front of the whiteboard, but this thought just kind of came to me. I'm headed to a client's house right now. It's a residential job. Where I'm at, it's mostly residential. I moved from doing years of just commercial work to now my company, we only really do residential, but I didn't really have time to get to this one. So I called somebody that I knew. It's been in the business for a long time. I trust his work. He does really good work, but we're having some issues on this one. It's a full interior job. It's 2,500 square feet, I believe, is the house. It's been a while since I looked at it, and we're just now able to get to it, but 2,500 square feet. All walls, all doors, all trim, no ceilings, and then we are going to paint some decently sized built-ins in the dining room, little office area, whatever they're going to make it. It has no furniture in it now besides the built-in, so it's hard to know what they're going to turn that into. They just moved into the house, so no furniture except like a bed in one room. So it's really easy for us to get to. All the floors are synthetic floors, like the vinyl plank floors. And there's a couple rooms of carpet, but they're replacing those. But I got $10,000 for it. It's a really good price. I'm just under $10,000. I'm like 94 or something, something like that. I can't remember without looking at it. I deal with so much stuff. I got jobs I'm working on, jobs I have other people working on, doing real estate stuff. It's really hard to keep up with everything, especially when I don't trust anybody else to manage it. So I manage everything. But anyways, so what I want to talk to you today about basically was subcontracting. And is subcontracting right with you or for you? Or should you do it? Is it worth it? Etc., etc. So my answer on this is like my answer on a lot of things. It depends. It depends on what you want to deal with, because the simple fact about subcontracting is they're not going to care as much as you. So if it's not their job, and you sub it out to them, they're not going to pay near as attention to detail as you would. And so, subcontracting seems like a good way to, to remove your hand from the project, but still make money. But, it's not quite like that. It's like when you subcontract, you have to have your hand just as much in the project. You got to keep an eye on that project just as much, because you're paying these guys by the job, kind of like you as a business owner. That's how you get paid, right? You get paid by the job. I don't get paid an hourly salary because I'm responsible for all my own work. So the faster I complete a job, in theory, the more money I can make. Well, when you sub it out to somebody, that's the same idea that they have, is the faster they can get this job done, the faster they can collect a check from you, and then they can move on to the next project that they have scheduled for their company. And they're really only responsible to you, and you're responsible to the homeowner or to the general contractor, whoever you're working for. So when you do subcontracting, when you subcontract out your work, and you're not hands-on cutting and rolling the walls every day, or your guys are not hands-on doing it, it can be really stressful, because the client's going to call you with all their issues. They're going to say, he did this or he did this, and that's what I'm dealing with now, and I'm having to go over here and I'm checking every single day this job, walking the space with a roll of blue tape, going here, because I have a certain standard of quality that people who book my work have come to understand. I've never had a bad review, and not because I never had any issues, but because I didn't allow those issues to fester. I didn't allow the issues to continue. As soon as there was an issue, and as soon as the client made it, well, first of all, I QC myself better than the client will QC me ever. I have an eye for, mistakes, and I realize, and I'm really tough on myself when it comes to making mistakes. If I see something that's not quite right, it's going to bother me until I fix it. Maybe that causes me to lose, money down the road, where I could maybe get away with a thing or two here, but I'm not going to sacrifice my quality, because at the end of the day, clients are likely to recommend me based on that. I can't tell you how many times I've left a job that took me longer than it was supposed to because I emphasized quality. And the client texts me afterwards and they're like, hey, I painted some cabinets, for example, and the lady said, we've had our cabinets painted 4 or 5 times throughout our life in different homes, and she said this is the best we've ever had it done. And stuff like that, if I got to take an extra day to do your cabinets, but I can get a text like that, dude, that means the world to me. Like, that means more to me than making an extra $300 or $400, for working a half day, or $500 for a whole day, or whatever. That's just my opinion anyway. I'd rather have a client satisfied 100% than I would them having to clean the dust off the floor for me getting out of the house so fast, kicking it up behind me. But when you deal with subcontracting, is it right for you? That's really up to you to figure out. You could try it, but let me tell you, it's not going to be hands off like you think it is when you subcontract out work. Now, if you do have somebody and trust, and you've worked alongside them, like I have 2 people that I subcontract work out to. This is probably the lower end of the 2. The other people that I subcontract work out, I know for a fact if I put them on a job, I don't really have to check on it. Now, in my self-consciousness, I will go check on it still. So I'm not still hands off. I'm not just going to trust somebody on my job with my reputation on the line and just let them be. But I know for a fact I'm going to have way less issues out of one crew than the other. But it is what it is. These people could get to it in a timely manner. They're still going to do a good job. They're still going to fix all the mistakes. But, it's not hands off. So it is a little bit of a headache. You're making a lot less money because you're giving them a majority of it. But to dress up in a nice rain jacket and, I'm doing an exterior right now, so it's raining and I can't work today. So I get to wear, khakis. I get to wear a nice rain jacket, a t-shirt, look decent, go out here for an hour, check on the job, and then I get to go back and do whatever I want to do, knowing that my money's still working for me today. That's still a nice feeling. It's still worth it in my opinion. It still is a little bit of a headache, but you got to figure out for your business, is it right for you, or do you not want to deal with the additional headache? Because if you're working on a couple jobs at once that your guys are doing, then you have something subcontracted. Those homeowners that you're subcontracting the work out to, they don't care how busy you are on your other 2 jobs. They're going to call you with their issues too, and you're really going to have 3 jobs going, 4 jobs going, depending on how many you sub out. So, like I said, still a little bit of a headache. Is it worth it? I think that's something that you have to answer for yourself. If you can make $500, $1,000, $2,000 off a job without actually having to physically do the labor, and you're making money up here, to me that's a win in my book. So I'd rather handle problems here than handle problems with these, because these break down after a while. These take, this brain, not these, I don't have more than one, but this brain here, though it's not very smart, it takes a lot longer to break down than these do. I am from Alabama. I may hurt myself, from thinking too hard, but yeah. So, you just got to figure out what's best for you and your business. Is subcontracting a good model? I think it is. You got to have the right subcontractors. You got to have people who care about the quality of their work. They have Facebook pages. They post to it. They have good reviews. They don't run off on jobs. They're not on drugs. Things like that. I mean, I think it's a good model, but you got to keep your finger on it, or it can get out of control. So that's all I have for you. Let me know what you thought. I apologize for this format, but as I'm driving to the client's house, I just wanted to make a video. I haven't made one in 4 or 5 days. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me a like. Let me know what you think. Website's coming along, so that'll be out soon. I think I'm going to start doing some contractor interviews too. This is just me just thinking out loud, right? I've met quite a few contractors that I've talked to on Zoom and things like that, and on the phone, and I think I'm going to start doing some interviews with these people and just getting a background. I'm kind of like a little podcast. I think that'd be kind of cool. A nice way to push their brand, mine as well, and it's always interesting hearing people's stories. So anyways, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Try to keep this under 10 minutes. Enjoy the rest of your day.